Hello. Welcome everyone to Meshery development meeting. Today is 12th of April, and with that, let's follow our weekly lay 5 tradition to welcome newcomers. So if you are a newcomer, join this community just a while and haven't got a chance to introduce, feel free to unmute yourself and say a quick introduction. So I see a couple of new names in participants list. So Dhiraj, Friedrich, um, or Mohammed Sahil. Anyone would like to introduce?
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Actually, I'm not a newcomer, but I joined last month, but I have been missing quite a few meetings, but now I'm kind of back since I have a lot of free time. So for everyone, I'm Thibault, and I'm a backend developer, and currently living in Kenya, in Nairobi. So nice to meet you.
That's great. Welcome back. So, Dhiraj, is this your first time joining this call, or you have been here a while?
Yes, it's my first time joining. Second time joining this call. I'm front-end developer. I used React and I'm a developer.
Cool. So, in which year you are currently and would like to say more? No issues. Dhiraj, you can also introduce in chat. So, thank you, folks. So, I don't think we have more newcomers. Cool. So if I have missed someone, feel free to interrupt me or just say hi in chat. So with that, we have a very special Meshery meeting today. So we have a cool announcement about Playground. So Lee would like to take the pleasure and announce Playground.
Yeah, or Ritik, actually, you might want to talk about this flyer. Because we talk about the Meshery Playground a fair bit on this call as an easy way to get people introduced to Meshery and its full capabilities, not just Meshery, but then a lot of other CNCF projects. And well, it's time to start telling people about it. It's time to start inviting people to use it. And so Ritik and Shivam and other folks have been working on a few materials, a few assets that can be shared. So Ritik, you want to talk about it? Or not, since you get put on the spot. So there's a flyer right here. I'm going to put a link to it. It's in the meeting minutes. It's time to go share this with people. It used to be the case that it was the easiest way to get Meshery up and going was to use the Docker extension. And I'll fix that graphic in a moment. I just made it large so that people can kind of see it. We'll put a link to this particular graphic, but we need a number of other assets like this that if any of you are inclined to, that you can take and share with others, tell them about the works that you're doing, invite them to come and try it out. Yeah, so I was saying it used to be the easiest way to run Meshery was through a Docker extension, which we're going to talk more about today. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about the Meshery Docker extension and how it will evolve over time. But now with the Meshery Playground, it's now the easiest. Well, I guess technically users aren't having to run it. It's being run for them. It is the easiest way to get your hands on Meshery and try Meshery and use, as it turns out, use all of the capabilities of Meshery. So in the past, we've had an early deployment of the Playground that is, it's a deployment of Meshery that's locked down a bit so that those that are using that environment don't. As a matter of fact, like we might want to, I was going to try to show it as I was speaking. Anyway, there's a full-blown deployment now of Meshery and all of its capabilities, and it's available at playground.io. play.meshery.io. A lot of you have access to it already. A lot of you have been working on it. Some of you may not have access. And so if you visit play.meshery.io, you can sign up for access. And so I'm sure you'll get it pretty fast. But yeah, we'll put a link to this graphic to the extent that you want to share this with others. We'll probably send out an email or two that has this or something similar in it. And yeah. So we'll have more of these. It's time to go make a splash. It's time to go tell people to come check out what you're doing. And then hopefully what we'll have is, well, it's not like it's a bad thing at all. Actually, this is the Meshery dev meeting. So the overwhelming majority of you that are here are here as with a primary focus on contributing and on advancing this project and the ones that surround it. And that's wonderful. There's also, I'm hopeful that at some point we also have, well, a meeting with just as many people in it that have a primary focus on using the tools. And I think that all of you will be really interested to be on that meeting as well, because it feels so good to hear feedback from people, even if it's like critical and negative feedback. It still feels, strangely, it still feels good in a masochistic kind of way, because people care. You understand that people care and they're using it and they've got ideas and they're invested in what you've done and they're spending their time with it. And so, well, I wasn't expecting to do this, but I think we should, I've talked about it a couple of times. We should make a commitment to have a user-focused meeting like once a month. We used to every week for a couple of years, every week, like it was our main meeting. We'd have this layer 5 community meeting because layer 5 is more community focused in its goals and shepherding of the projects. And so whether it's a layer 5 community meeting or it's a Meshery users meeting, a Meshery community meeting, I think we should have at least one of those once a month and focus on how to use this thing and what its purpose is, and whether or not it's working well or whether or not it needs to change. So for you all of you get to show off and demonstrate a lot of times it's your work in progress, but we don't provide you with a forum. We don't provide you with frequently enough with a forum to show off all of your completed works and get user-facing feedback. So yeah, so two thoughts, I think, in this rambling of mine. One, go jump into the playground, go tell other people about the playground. That's kind of the point of this graphic. By the way, if you're into graphic design, now's a great chance to go create a few things. Go tell people about it, and then, yeah, hold me to it, I suppose, or hold the other community managers to it as well. Let's do a monthly community meeting, and let's pick a particular topic or maybe feature area and go deep, go into it, and share with others. So. Cool. Any thoughts on that before we go to the next item? Any feedback on the flyer? Ritik put a lot of time and effort into the flyer. Just like everything else that's done here, it was a team effort. So Shivam helped quite a bit on it. I'll be saying maybe it's too green, maybe. By the way, for those of you who've seen Star Wars, the title and the subtitle, the whole thing, it sort of has a Star Wars-esque feel to it. And so, which, pleases me to no end, right, I guess. By the way, if you haven't seen Star Wars, you can go ahead and excuse yourself from the call. We'll take your nerd badge off your lapel. Like you don't deserve your nerd badge. So I'm just kidding. But if you haven't seen Star Wars, like you should go watch Star Wars. You should go. Okay. Anyway, next up, I think we've got Mr. Subedy. And oh yeah, Meshery catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll share my screen. Okay, so recently Lee pointed out that the designs that he created in MeshMap and then shared it to for publicly was not visible in the Meshery catalog, meshery.catalog page. But his design was visible in his user page that he has already published. But it was when you click on this design, we don't get a Meshery catalog page. So what was happening is that the workflow that was responsible for adding content on the catalog page was failing. And the reason for failing was that the change in URL we recently had for fetching the catalog patterns. So patterns.catalog now does not have all the catalog patterns that used to have. That particular website gives output of this, and when we try to run any JQ query to it, it gives an error that it gives this one, yeah, invalid error or this thing. So what I did was that I changed this particular URL to the correct one. But this gives all the catalog that wait, where was it? Yeah, this particular link gives all the catalog that is published. But again, I ran into some error. Like this was the error that I ran into. So I didn't make a PR right away. So like, is there any, like, I didn't get a way to solve this. This particular this error is that I searched it on the net and it seems like it's JSON does not renders the new line. It had some error with the new line thing, multiple line thing. But when I looked in the output, it does use proper new line like things and everything. But I don't know why this error is coming. So what this error gave out when I searched on net is because we can't use just a plain enter. Instead, we have to use this. And I think in most of the cases we use this escape character, but I don't know why this error is coming. So, any help?
Yeah. Subedy, it might just be a matter of time before, right? Different tools want to interpret the new line in different ways using different characters. The /n is certainly one. There's another new line feed ASCII character. There's another. And for my part, I can't recall off the top of my head what JQ will digest. It might be that there's a bit of data cleansing or like replacement of that special character that needs to happen with like sed or awk or something before JQ gets a hold of, or there might just need to be like a flag or parameter for JQ that lets it know to interpret that differently. I think that from the description of the error, like it's not, I don't know, to me, it's not 100% sure that it's the new line character. Highly likely that that's the thing. It's possible that like the JSON that's received back, that with the new line with those /n's, if you look at, it's possible that that's interpreted all on a single line. There are, I mean, it should be, right? It's a string. It's a single line string. So it's also possible that the terminating character of that string is causing an issue. I don't. It's probably not the case. It's probably the /n's. Does anybody else have better feedback than me? I was having to deal with this recently with a make command and using make target to do something. And yeah, I had brought in awk or sed to help with it. Anyway, it was with respect to the new line character causing an issue like this. It was actually dealing with some of the same stuff. It was dealing with the mesh model components and how those get documented inside of Excel or inside of Google Sheets, and the line return in there.
Okay.
But there's something else that just is a quick cause for concern or for verification. The APIs that are within Meshery Cloud for content have recently been refined, refactored to be more organized based on the evolution of the software over time. And do you know, was this workflow that helps automate the publication of catalog content, did this workflow, did it receive a recent update to point to a new API location?
No, that's the reason it is failing right now.
Oh, okay. You already said that. Okay, fine. Okay, good. So you're on top of that as well. Okay, so a couple of issues there.
Yeah, so I didn't PR right away because I was facing this error. So I thought I'll talk it out then make a PR.
Ashish, so wait, as the champion of this area, what's your feedback?
This JQ error currently also doesn't ring a bell to me. I think we can connect with Subedy after the call so that we can hash it out.
Okay.
Well, that's exciting though. I don't know if anyone else noticed, like that's the first time that people are able to go create a design in Meshery, publish it, get it reviewed and approved, get it visible in the Meshery IO catalog. That's been there for a while, but now there's the beginnings of what's a public profile. I'm saddened that we're having to show mine, but that's pretty cool that now it's not just that individuals can publish catalog content, it's that their profile is now attributed in terms of their contribution, or you can now see who is publishing that content. And that's something that, Subedy, you might engage with others, you might do it yourself, or you might engage with others here to enhance the catalog. So I know Noreen in specific, if Golden Goldfish is on, she is, she's been making her way through Jekyll recently. Well, you know this actually. And I know that if you visit the catalog right now, I suspect there are enhancements, like if you were to choose the Emoji Photo app, this one may have been published by Mr. Tiwari, by Ashish, but it doesn't say it here. And wouldn't it be nice if it did? And so that, I think we have that data, it'd be a great enhancement. Someone like Noreen, or Noreen specifically, she might want to try her hand at it, but if you're going to be going through it anyway, it might be, because it's not just the name that we need to do. It's ultimately the version number is a bit static. I know Ashish has some plans for how to start to track version number, get that updated. So anyway, there's just a handful of enhancements that Ashish, I think you and I have talked about that, or not Ashish, Subedy, that you and I have talked about that you might build some momentum around.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Subedy. So moving next, we have two great updates from Azan. So hi, Azan, would like to share?
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope that my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I have created this PR. Okay, this adds the capability for CRUD operations of user credentials. As you can see, like these are the user credentials. Okay, for all the integrations, like we can now save them. This PR explicitly adds this capability for local provider, the none provider. And the same capability has already been implemented but has not been attached yet to to the server, but has already been implemented for Meshery Cloud. So this is one update. And the next one is I have taken Lee's suggestion of keeping PRs as small as possible and change just one word. So this one word change is like quite a big change, because after this, the meshery-ctl installation will be having really small footprint as compared to how it is right now, because none of the adapters will be deployed by default. So you will have to go to the Meshery UI and then deploy the adapter selectively. Whoever was in the last development meeting would remember I demoed the deployment and earned deployment of Meshery adapters from Meshery UI. So this is the, I don't know, sequel to that. I welcome any questions.
I think that's a good point that, well, there'll be areas of Meshery's UI that will be, need to be disabled. If your deployment is only so capable, then you should only be shown the capabilities that, that deployment can do. I was trying to think of a word other than capable. Something to help us work through that a little bit, something that we've spoken of in the past, and I think Subedy is to be working on in the catalog, is adding adapters as extensions, as plugins. The Meshery has many extension points. One of its extension points is an adapter, a gRPC interface that Meshery adapters can use to extend the capabilities of Meshery and augment it and enhance it. To date, those adapters have been service mesh focused. There's an adapter proposal and deep design spec out there for Nighthawk for Meshery performance adapter. So it wouldn't have anything to do with service meshes as much as it has to do with some sophisticated performance tests that would occur. Anyway, point is, adapters are an extension. They need to be inside of the Meshery catalog, listed as a category in the catalog of extensions. In a similar way, if you have Meshery UI running, if you have Meshery running, then there's an extensions menu. And so do you happen to have Meshery running, Mr.?
I don't like, I can get it up running.
Okay. It's almost like being caught with your pants down. It's like, what? You don't have Meshery running? We all know that you have your pants on. We can't see, but we just trust that. Okay. All right. A little awkward.
To keep it as a joke and not really prove that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't respond to that. Stop. Okay. All right. My goodness, Lee, how terrible of you.
Will it be visible in the playground?
Yes, it will. Yeah. Yeah, there's an extensions menu in the playground, and on the page it lists out, now that we're done talking about pants, it lists out the mesh map is an extension. It lists out the Meshery catalog is an extension, but what it doesn't list is adapters. And actually adapters, like one of the things that this new capability will need, and if Ambareen is here as well, I know Udit is working in a similar area, but he's can't attend today. But one of the areas, on the left-hand side, there's this extensions. If the adapters were to show here with a brief explanation as to the fact that the Istio adapter does such and such with Istio and blah, 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 and all the rest. Well, this UI is, is supposed to convey to users that there's a collection of plugins, adapters, extensions, and that you can enable those capabilities. And when you do, if you like here, if you were to disable the Meshery catalog, well, one, I think you would disable it for everyone in the playground, and that's okay. It's a playground. That's what we're. But when you were to do that, and you visit other areas of the UI, you will either see things or not see things because the catalog as an extension is enabled or not. You will either see catalog content in the other UIs or you won't. And so in a similar fashion, if the adapters are listed here, then we have a paradigm for this, enabling capabilities, disabling capabilities, feature flag type stuff.
I'm understanding what you're saying.
I have a comment. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, also you can. So can you click on the life cycle tab on the left side? Maybe I'm a bit naive, but from a really like a user perspective, but maybe a user that is kind of like not that experienced with Meshery and with service meshes. So isn't it like so we're allowing the user to land in this page, but he actually can't do anything with these components, right? With this UI, correct?
Can do anything
Right
that is supported by the adapter.
But I mean, what if the adapter is not provisioned yet?
Then it
I'm just
won't be
wondering
visible.
if we're giving too much visibility of an adapter being deployed or not. Like, why don't we deploy it as soon as it's needed? For example, as soon as one user tries to do something with these, for example, life cycle.
Yeah, I got your point. I think
because it's really when I first tried this, it was really like bothersome. Like, oh, this isn't working. What do I need to do? It wasn't really clear in that scenario. Like, there's no ESP adapter, for example, installed, and then you need to go to the docs, and then
yeah. In last UX meeting, we had discussed this, like we can deploy the adapter. Like that was specifically when we were talking about the Docker extension for the Docker desktop, sorry, Meshery extension for the Docker desktop. But I think Mario is right, like it is quite good UX to deploy the adapter whenever we actually try to do something with that particular service mesh.
I mean, that'd be nice. Now the user doesn't really have to care if like of implementation details of how the Meshery and the adapters work. It just works, you know. But I'll leave that like really as a feedback. Like, it's open for debate. Or at least if we're not allowing the user to do that, at least we should grade this out. And you know, you can't do this, and then give the user some steps so they can know how to enable that functionality. In the case that the specific adapter isn't deployed yet, right?
Yeah, like if any specific, I don't know if I understood your question very well, but like if a particular adapter is not deployed, then it won't, like this screen won't be visible.
It won't be
visible. Like these options won't be visible.
But I mean, but the pane will be there, and then like, can you try clicking on one other adapter in the left side that's not provision to see how that looks like? So all of these are
everywhere. Yeah, all of them are provisioned.
Okay, okay, so that's not the best example, but yeah. So, but I mean, the pane is clickable, but it won't show anything. I think so. It's kind of like, oh, what should I do? I'm not certain it's really clear for a user what to do at that point, you know. Besides just asking around, but if we gray out the pane itself, like, it'd be kind of neat, or just add some steps that what they need to do, like some docs, like a better UX in that case. But other than that, that'd be the least I'd expect, to be honest. But anyway, let's move forward.
I seem to have broken something in my container. So I won't be able to demonstrate this, but like these options are not visible when we select, like, let's say we selected this app mesh. None of this is visible. I think like there is a blank screen
And at
here.
that point, if I'm a really inexperienced user, would I know what to do with what gets displayed? Like, is it a clean UX, of oh, this isn't enabled, this is what I need to do, just to put for the thought that okay, maybe the user clicked the pane and he wouldn't see this card.
Hey Mario, sorry to interrupt, but it's time check. So let's circle back to Azan. Yeah, we can put this item to parking lot. Yeah, cool. So did we cover all your updates, Azan?
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool. Sure. So let's move to next item. That's by Sahil on hyperlink in snack bar to open notification center. So Sahil would like to share screen.
Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Hey. Yep, you are.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen. Wait a while. Yes. My screen is visible to all.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So this is the issue. This is an enhancement issue. Where I had to. Okay. So yeah, this is the enhancement PR that I made to Meshery. Yeah. To explain the enhancement, I'm gonna take reference of my video that I created. Okay. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, we can.
Yep, for the second time it is. By the way, hey, my MD, is your first name Mohammed? Or is it just MD?
Yes.
Okay, good. What do you go by? Sahil or MD or Mohammed? Or?
Yeah. First, I'm creating a cluster to,
yeah. Sahil, let me ask you, because it's worth the time, because it is really worth the time. We actually have a tradition here in the community. If you ask, if people can see your screen, generally, I don't know, it takes 10 seconds, 15, 20, depending upon how quickly people can get to their mute button. And so over time, what we figured out is like, we just find people who ask that question. It's a $2 surcharge.
Okay. No, I don't have to ask any question. I'm just presenting the enhancement. Okay.
Oh yeah. No, I think you're missing the point.
Can I
actually,
stop?
No, you can't. No, you can't. Hold on just a second. Actually, I'm just trying to help you and everyone else get the mostly a joke that you don't have to ask. Actually, if you're not sharing, somebody will say it. And usually the shares come through. Sometimes folks have challenges with bandwidth and things, but
okay.
Anyway, the other question I'd add for you is, do you go by Sahil or MD or?
Yeah, Sahil.
Sahil. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Yeah, as you can see, when I clicked on the eye icon, okay, I was able to open the notification bar and the selected event.
Your voice just cut off, Sahil.
Yeah. Now, I think now events are we are able to open the event from the notification, as we can see in the notification center.
Sahil, if you could just slightly move the video tab of Zoom, so we could see the notification center in the right.
Yeah, by clicking on that. eye icon, I'm able to open the event in the notification center.
Sahil, that's wonderful.
Okay.
But question, when the user clicks the eye icon, is that, and it may have just been demonstrated, so I apologize. The video panel of Zoom is covering up part of your demonstration. So I don't know that we could see everything. So I'll ask this: when the user clicks the eye, is that specific notification expanded, or is it?
Yeah, it was expanded. Let me play the video again from that particular.
Cool. I know that your connection or your machine is struggling a little bit, so you might be speaking and I might be speaking over you. But oh, and by the way, the eye, I just see it now. I can't help but chuckle. The eye, if you would, if you would change it to a circle with the letter I, rather than a human eye, that way it's more of like an information icon. But that's great.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Oh, so it does deep link to the specific notification. And oh, that's wonderful. That's great.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to represent. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so fantastic, man. There's, well, you might get more feedback than you want, because there's a number of other enhancements around those particular interactions, specifically with the notification center. It needs some help.
Yeah.
And so that's great to see. Nice work.
Okay.
Anybody else got questions or feedback? We were just talking about an enhancement in a very similar way on a different meeting, and I can't remember. Does anybody else remember what it was? I think it was either an operation that was in progress to get some details about it, or a failure that had occurred. Where do people get details about it? In a similar vein, like this, that hyperlink, it can be used in a number of different situations, whether it was a success message, a failure message, an error message, or an informational message. Any which way, just that generic capability, Sahil, is really helpful. As a matter of fact, actually, I'll say this and hope that you all digest it and will think about whether or not this is a good suggestion or not. Sometime
we can have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Sometimes we just show a notification, a little toaster, a little snack bar, and that's it. Like that's all that there is to the message. There was no adjoining like notification center message. So, okay, that's as much info as the user gets. But other times, like the one that you were just demonstrating, there's an adjoining set of deeper details that can be found in the notification center. And I wonder if what you've just done shouldn't be made pervasive, which is to say that for any snack bar, the little toaster notification, depends on what framework you're using, but in this case, it's MUI, so it's a snack bar. That, like, for any snack bar that has an associated set of details in the notification center, I would suggest that the change that you've just done be, well, I said pervasive, but like, essentially mandatory, or like all ever present, that it shouldn't be, it would be by default that people could click on that snack bar. And if there's something more detailed, that all of those notifications would receive it. It wouldn't just be like one-off, specially curated notifications. It would be all of them. And so if we have a custom component, which I'm not sure if we do, if we have a custom component for that snack bar, if we've extended the material UI component, that we would add in basically this mandatory hyperlink, deep link, like you've done. Thoughts? What do you think? Abi or who's, anybody?
Yeah, yes. I mean, yeah, I'm in favor of it. It just like right now we don't pass all our snack bars through event handlers. So that's the only thing. And I mean, we can add additional code that will do that for us. That whenever we receive a notification, even if it is not coming from the event, the live event API or yeah, connection, so it will still add its entry to the notification center, and where we can deep link things or provide extra uh, I mean anything extra that user could see, and from there we can that deep linking, like I like the idea. That's what I want to say.
Nice. Yeah, I think I think you extended my suggestion, which I'll repeat just so that to 1 second to your motion, and then for everyone else to understand as well. I was saying occasionally Meshery will send a notification to the user. It's a little snack bar, and that's it. Just a little detail, and there's nothing further. Well, Abi was saying that in those cases, it would also be nice that essentially all of them, every notification, that there's a history of them, that you could go back and look in the notification center for things that have transpired, notifications and events that have occurred. What are those? And not all of them have to be, excuse me. I mean, not all of them need attention or require that the user acknowledge them or dismiss them. So not all of them need to light up the badge on top of the bell, the notification center bell. But if as a user, if you go visit the notification center, well, it's really comforting to see that here's the history of all these things that have occurred and when they did. So yeah, two requests. So one is to persist and capture all events in the notification center. 2 is to make Sahil's eye a mandatory parameter, so to speak, like a mandatory part of that component, that if there is additional details to be seen in the notification center, that all of them should carry that eye. Sahil, are we using a custom component now for the snack bar?
Custom component for snack bar, no, I mean,
Okay.
the package that we use is yeah, we don't use, we have not, that is a hook in itself, so it doesn't require to create a custom component itself.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We can improve that thing. We can create a custom component out of it. So we are using some of that thing in mesh map somewhere, but at least from the perspective of Meshery UI, I would say no.
So Sahil, hopefully that makes sense. We should carry forth with expanding what you've done.
Yeah, I'll have a look and
By the
collaborate
way,
with other community members.
I was looking through your PR, and I don't know if it is correct time to merge this and I mean extend the other efforts in another PR, or just to continue this PR and all the changes here. So what's the
Cool. Thank you for your update, Sahil. So with that, let's move to next item. We have 2 agendas in a row by Abdullah. So hi, Abdullah, would like to share? Abdullah, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. So I have two PRs to share. For the first PR, whenever a mesh config is absent on a user system, a default mesh config is generated. This PR asks the functionality that the default mesh config generator will have a provider field whose value will be set to meshery. So the provider enforced by default will be the meshery provider. And the other change in this PR is the some of the messages when meshery-ctl system provider is unable to connect to the meshery server. Some of the messages that were returned were a bit vague. So I changed the messages so that they're more clear. That's it for the first PR. As for the second PR, this one has been pending merge for quite some time now. So this PR adds the capability of disabling the meshery operator through this field in the mesh config. So it can be set to either true or false. And accordingly, the meshery operator will be disabled. And this is applicable for when the platform is it is applicable when the platform is Kubernetes. It does not work on a Docker context. That's pretty much it for my pull request. And another issue that I wanted to raise was the meshery-ctl command reference has yet to have a page for system provider. And I know that the docs are auto-generated, so I do not understand why the system provider page hasn't been generated yet. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Rafi, I'll get you some answers on the docs and some final word on the other PR. Yeah, it's been open too long. Like we should almost have a standing rule. If it's been open so long and the other maintainers haven't helped get it closed, then we just merge it. That's a very dangerous rule. We don't want to do that, but yeah, good. Yeah, good. I bet this is a pretty well done PR. Your other PRs have been pretty well done. So this is nice. Yeah, good.
Cool. So let me share my screen again. So moving next, we have an update from Ambareen. So hi, Ambareen, would like to share?
Yeah, so up until now, there was no guide on how to contribute to Meshery Docker extensions. So in documentation, I have added this new page, contributing to Meshery Docker extension. And I have listed these steps on how to set it up locally.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Great. So, Ambareen, you have both the instructions for installing and running the extension, as well as the instructions for building the extension. And which makes sense. If you're gonna contribute to it, you also want to be able to build it. So that makes sense. But this is a brand new page that you've created. It's for contributing to that particular component. Great meshery extension. And one point of feedback, which is going to sound kind of picky, but it is to just review your capitalization. There's a number of things that are either not capitalized or that need to be capitalized or shouldn't be capitalized. I'll go call them out. But I see that we've got, so linking the Docker extension locally to see. Yeah, cool. What's behind that target? I wonder, the link target.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we run this command so that like I've not started my Docker extension since my laptop starts to hang if I share my screen and start it. So I'm just telling it when we start Docker extension remotely, and if we have our make UI running locally as well. So like to reflect the changes in Docker extension, we use this command make link so that we can see it. We can see the changes as well, like, while developing locally.
Nice. Okay, that's cool. Is that a brand new target or was that there before? That
Like,
command.
Like was new, like
We can't hear you, Ambareen, so I guess you are having some internet issues. We can take this item to Slack. Thank you for your update, Ambareen. Let me share my screen. So next up, we have an update on removed Helm Meshery CPS chart from Harsh. So Harsh, would like to share?
Yeah. Hi guys. Just let me share my screen. Yeah. So is my screen visible?
Yes, we can see your screen and you are perfectly audible.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So it is. Okay. So I can't actually pull it out because I don't know why this bar is coming. Is there any way to remove it? I don't know much about this.
Zoom. Yeah, depends on what OS you're on. And you're on Windows. Gosh, there's oftentimes hotkeys, but there's like a hide.
Okay, I think this is fine. Yeah. So I removed the CPX code. So the behavior was that while we were installing Meshery, the CPX adapter was coming. So after like I basically I tested out on Google Kubernetes Engine. So when I tested it out, initially the CPX was getting created, but again when I deleted everything and installed again, so it was not getting created. But I think the issue was because of the code which was there in the Helm chart. So after just removing the code, it was working perfectly fine. I have some screenshots as well because my cluster is not up right now. So as you can see, other components are getting created perfectly fine, but we don't have that CPX one. So after removing the CPX code from the Helm chart, I tried installing all those components, Helm components manually, and each component was working fine. So after removing CPX code, the problem was resolved.
Harsh, you make it sound so easy.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You can see that. I think it's visible that the Meshery playground suffers from this issue, in which you'll see Meshery CPX showing as a potential adapter to connect to, but and so.
So I checked it as well. No CPX component was there, so it was working perfectly fine.
Nice. Well, with the nice thing about, actually one of the nice things, Harsh, about the Meshery playground, and this is true for everyone else who's contributing as well, is, the playground is kind of nice because for a number of reasons, but one of them is because during the next Meshery release, the playground is automatically redeployed as well, is refreshed with the latest Meshery. So you should see your fix pretty soon. We've been releasing on about a weekly basis. And so that's great. That's great. And then as we go to real quick, I'd be curious in Slack or somewhere else about if you've got questions on Meshery Cloud and how
yeah, so Yeah, so I have started exploring about, like, when you shared, I have started exploring about Meshery Cloud. I'm seeing the code, like I'm halfway through README. I'm just understanding this stuff, so I'll be pretty soon up with some charts. So I just need some more time, and I'll be up with charts. I'm just exploring this only.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harsh. That was a smooth demo.
Thank you, Gaurav.
So next up, there is an item from me. So I'll cover it real quick. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a SVG system added to Meshery by Abhi. So we still got some of the SVGs left that needs to be updated, that specifically for the Safari. So I'll be making a issue and I'll be breaking down that issue for a particular file system. So it's a call for volunteer who wants to contribute to this particular item. So the issue will be up tonight. So yep, that was a quick call about that SVG scaling system. So next up we have,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, Gaurav, just sorry to interrupt, but just one more thing I forgot to inform is, like, the installing script which we have in Mesh still have the CPX reference. So I wasn't able to find the installing script in the repo, but if it would be great if we can remove that reference as well from the installing script, because it's still there.
Yep. Yeah, there might be two places. Yeah. Anyway, there's a bash
Yeah.
script called mesh.
Yeah. Yes, right.
Cool. So Yash, since we have just 1 minute left, so Yash would like to share your dark mode updates.
Yeah, sure. I will be quick. Let me show my screen. Okay. So we already discussed this in the past weekly meet. Just a sec. Okay. So Lee suggested some changes that I have made. The only update is that this PR is ready to merge, and yeah, I fixed some of the dark mode issues in this. That's from a small update.
Yeah, cool. That looks good. And yeah, do point out more dark mode issues if you find. So file an issue. Let me share. So yeah, we are on time today and we missed a couple of items from Ritik, Sudhanshu, Ashish, and a couple of more folks. So yeah, do share your updates on Slack and get a feedback. So I think we are good to wrap today's call. So thank you all for joining today's Meshery development meeting. Go sign up for Playground, share your feedback with us on Slack or discuss.lay5.io. And do subscribe to Lay5's community calendar on lay5.io/calendar. So thank you all for joining. Have a good day. Bye all. We'll meet you next week, same time, same place.
Bye.
Thanks for
Get
joining.
lucky.